We're going to take a break from the political news now because let me show you the outside of Buckingham Palace where the flag is lowered as it's been announced that the Duchess of Kent, the cousin of Queen Elizabeth and wife of the Duke of Kent.
So here's the tea. Prince Harry is reportedly losing his mind. Word is he's absolutely fuming because his heartfelt condolence email to the Duke of Kent after the heartbreaking death of the Duchess of Kent got nothing but silence. Not a thank you, not a word, nothing. The announcement of the Duchess's passing already had the British public shaken to the core. But instead of Harry's attempt to reach across the divide being acknowledged, it was completely ignored. And Harry? He's raging. Sources say he feels insulted, dismissed, and yes, totally snubbed.
92. The Duchess of Kent has died. That news has been released there from the royal family. Daniela Ralph, our senior royal correspondent, is with me here in the studio. Daniela.
And honestly, this isn't just about one ignored email. No, this is the latest bombshell in a never-ending string of drama that Harry just can't seem to escape. Every time you think he's settling down, another controversy explodes. This one cuts deeper, though, because it questions not just Harry's place in the monarchy, but also his judgment and his reputation in the public eye. You see, the royal family has always been known for this careful, very delicate balance when it comes to mixing duty with grief. Their condolences are supposed to be subtle, quiet, wrapped in protocol. Harry, however, seems to expect a little spotlight even when it comes to personal tragedies.
The pictures there of the flag flying at half-mast is a marker for us to know that the royal family will now be in a period of official mourning. That announcement from Buckingham Palace.
Let's not forget, Harry has built quite the reputation for dragging private family drama into the public arena. And in his mind, he thought this email deserved a personal acknowledgement. When none came, his frustration with the very institution he abandoned only grew hotter. Royal commentators are already having a field day with this one. Some say, well, of course Harry's mad. What else is new? Because, honestly, ever since he stepped back from royal duties, he's clashed with practically everyone up top.
Within the past hour. Perhaps the best thing is for me to read out what the palace have said. They say that it is with deep sorrow that Buckingham Palace announces the death of Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Kent.
And it's not like this is the first blow-up. Harry's been caught in controversy after controversy, whether it's fiery speeches against the monarchy or those tell-all media interviews where he openly slammed his own family. But this time, this silence from the Duke of Kent could mark a deeper split, even with royals who were once seen as neutral ground. People inside Buckingham Palace point out that the Duke of Kent is famously reserved. He's always been careful about correspondence. To him, silence doesn't scream insult, it's just silence. But Harry, who is already on edge and quick to spot shade where maybe there isn't any, took it as a big fat rejection.
Surrounded by her family, the King and Queen and all members of the royal family join the Duke of Kent, his children and grandchildren, in mourning their loss.
And that's where the drama explodes, because Harry, hypersensitive to slights, interpreted the quiet as a deliberate brush-off. He felt disrespected, plain and simple. Social media lit up almost instantly, with people picking sides. Some fans were like, well, of course Harry wanted to reach out. He's family after all. Others rolled their eyes, saying this is just another chapter in Harry's endless quest for attention. Analysts have already warned, every time Harry reacts like this, it chips away at his credibility, making him look like a man who can't handle the subtle rules of monarchy but still craves the media spotlight. And let's not forget, this isn't just about one email. It's piled on top of all the other feuds, fights over titles, televised grudges, and never-ending interviews. Honestly, it's starting to look like a pattern. Every little slight gets turned into a headline. Inside the palace, though, the mood? Awkward. Staff are apparently shaking their heads, wondering how on earth a simple condolence email spiraled into yet another family drama splashed across the press. One insider summed it up perfectly. Harry just can't separate private communication from his public narrative, and that, they say, creates a whole mess, even among royals who might have wanted to show him sympathy during this time of mourning. Meanwhile, the press is feasting on this story like vultures. The headlines are brutal, painting Harry as livid, outraged, furious beyond words. And honestly, for media outlets, Harry's temper tantrums are gold. They feed into that perfect tabloid storyline, the rebel prince versus the royal family, a feud that just won't quit. Even royal historians are shaking their heads. They point out the Duke of Kent has always been about dignity, restraint, and carefully measured words, especially when grief is involved. Harry, on the other hand, has made a habit of choosing emotion, passion, and dramatic flair over silence. And when those two worlds collide, well, you get exactly this: a perfect storm of misunderstanding, hurt feelings, feelings, and of course, front-page drama.
She will remember perhaps the Duchess of Kent as the person who handed out the trophies at Wimbledon. If you were a watcher of Wimbledon during the 80s and 90s in particular, she was somebody who would hand over the trophies, and there was that moment.
But wait, it doesn't stop there. Sources are spilling that Harry, already wound up from all the family drama, didn't just let the silence go. Nope. He apparently fired off more follow-up messages, trying to push for some kind of acknowledgement. And again, crickets. Nothing. This only escalated his fury behind closed doors. Insiders described the atmosphere as combustible. Staff were reportedly scrambling, fearing that what started as a private exchange could snowball into yet another public showdown. And honestly, with Harry's track record, who's surprised?
1993 that many will remember, when the losing women's finalist Jana Novotná was incredibly distressed and upset, as we can see here. And the Duchess was very empathetic, hugged her when she was in floods of tears there and deeply upset. And it was a moment, I think, where it was of...
Think about it. This is a man who once lived by royal tradition, who followed strict rules and protocols without question. But now, he's constantly butting heads with the very structure he left behind. Every ignored email, every unanswered call, it feels like a personal insult to him. And the press? Oh, they're living for it. Headlines scream, Harry's fury explodes and palace snub sparks outrage. Social media? Totally divided. Some fans say, he's grieving, cut him some slack. Others insist he's his own worst enemy because he keeps turning every private matter into another public soap opera. And it's true, this isn't the first time Harry has blown up over something small. Remember those explosive interviews, the court battles, the arguments over titles? Every single one turned into a massive news cycle. And now, even something as simple as an unanswered email has become a scandal, all because Harry seems to view silence as a deliberate insult.
There was a real empathy in terms of the public engagement that the Duchess of Kent carried out. She had a tenderness and an empathy to her that made her very memorable in some people's minds. She herself had quite an interesting life in terms of the royal family. She was an outsider who married in. She was from an aristocrat.
Inside Buckingham Palace, things were reportedly chaotic. Staff who are used to Harry's emotional outbursts were on edge, worried this could spiral into another ugly scene. One insider said something that really hits the point. He doesn't just want acknowledgement, he wants validation. And when he doesn't get it, he reacts. And that right there is the clash. The royal family prizes discretion, restraint, composure. Harry, he's fiery, reactive, and emotional. That mix? It's exhausting for everyone involved. And of course, the public ate it up. Royal supporters who still stand with Harry defended his attempt to connect with family during a dark time. But critics slammed him, saying he's obsessed with recognition and turning into someone who only sees himself as the victim. Analysts added fuel by pointing out the bigger picture. Harry used to be the golden boy, groomed for royal duty. Now, he's painted as a man consumed by image, recognition, and constant grievances.
Landowning Yorkshire family, and at first found royal life, it seemed very easy. She had these causes that she was very much attached to around helping young people, working with the Samaritans. But she herself had some personal issues. She suffered from depression. She had a stillborn baby. And after a while,
Historians jumped into the debate too. They reminded everyone that the Duke of Kent has always been about quiet diplomacy. His silence isn't rejection, it's tradition. It's how the monarchy has operated for centuries. But Harry doesn't see it that way. He sees it as a personal rejection. And once again, his outrage gets magnified, feeding off years of frustration and endless family drama. The internet took it to the next level. Memes, TikToks, viral jokes, all mocking Harry's meltdown over an email. Suddenly, what could have been a discreet private matter became a global spectacle. And let's be honest, that's Harry's pattern now. Every little slight, every ignored gesture somehow finds its way to the headlines. Experts warn that this isn't harmless drama. It could have real consequences, because every time Harry reacts like this, it chips away at his credibility. If he wants to be seen as a serious figure, as a leader or advocate, these meltdowns over minor slights just make him look fragile, out of touch, and yes, entitled. In the end, the unanswered email isn't just an ignored message. It's become a symbol of centuries-old tradition clashing with Harry's modern, media-driven personality, a symbol of how deep the cracks in this family have become. And the world? They can't stop watching. Every reaction, every outburst, every single snub becomes part of the royal soap opera that just keeps delivering drama after drama. And here's the twist everyone's whispering about. What if this isn't just about one email at all? What What if this is Harry sending a signal, once again reminding the royals and the world that he refuses to be sidelined? Because let's face it, every single move he makes these days seems to carry that undertone. Don't forget me, don't ignore me, don't push me out. For palace insiders, this has become exhausting. They're watching a man who once had everything, respect, duty, a global platform, turn into someone who lashes out at silence, who sees rejection in every pause, and who demands acknowledgement like it's oxygen. And the Duke of Kent's refusal to play into that game? Oh, it stings. Harry expected warmth, maybe even a bridge back into the fold. Instead, he got a closed door, and that silence might hurt more than any angry response ever could. Public fascination, of course, isn't dying down anytime soon. People are debating, is Harry the wounded son who deserves sympathy, or the self-absorbed prince who just can't let go? Either way, one thing is crystal clear: this royal saga is far from over.